You don't really know your neighbors. You might smile at them, borrow sugar, wave from across the yard. But behind that front door, you have no idea what they're hiding. Maybe they're quiet because they're lonely. Maybe it's because they're listening. Maybe it's because they were never supposed to be here in the first place. Some neighbors vanish without a trace. Others, they leave behind things they shouldn't. A screaming pet, a rotting smell, a light in a house no one's lived in for years. These are 3 disturbing true stories about neighbors who disappeared. And trust me, by the end, you'll be watching your own street a little differently. You ever live next to someone who seemed just a little too quiet? Not creepy, not dangerous, just like they knew things no one else did. Pauline was like that. She smiled, she gardened, she helped people, and then one night she vanished. The only thing left behind was a scorched foundation, a missing cat, and the smell of burnt herbs clinging to the air. I told myself I imagined it. The angry mob, the Molotovs, the way her black cat returned. Alone, just seconds before everything lit up. But sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, swearing I can hear her whispering through the garden fence. And I'm not the only one who says that. Her name was Pauline. And the cat? Jake. A big, pissed-off-looking black cat. Always watching. I miss them both sometimes. Which is a weird thing to say, considering how it ended. She wasn't always like that. A witch, she was a nurse. Or maybe a housekeeper. People couldn't decide. I guess it didn't really matter. What mattered is that she listened. Really listened. And people, they needed that. It started with little things. A neighbor with a rash. A teenager with migraines. A mom with a colicky baby. You'd knock on Pauline's door and she'd make you tea, sit you down, and figure it out. People always left feeling better. Word got around. She didn't ask for money, didn't advertise, but people kept coming. And then, she started helping in other ways, quiet ways. One girl, Jenna, visited after her husband beat her half to death. Days later, she and her son were gone. No one knew where they'd gone, only that they were safe. Pauline never talked about it. She just kept her garden wild, her doors open, and Jake close. But not everyone was grateful. I remember the day everything unraveled. I was weeding near the fence when I saw a young woman step into Pauline's garden, holding a baby. I knew her family. They weren't good people. The baby's cry, it wasn't normal. Sounded wrong. Shallow. Rattling. Like something inside was breaking. I tried not to listen, but you couldn't help it. They argued. The mother's voice shook. Pauline, I can't. The wait times, the travel. I already took out a loan. I can't. And then the crying stopped. Just like that. Not faded. Just stopped. Jake glared at them from the fence post, tail twitching like a metronome. The mother left. Alone. Jake followed. That night I couldn't sleep. The baby was dead. That much I'd heard. No one blamed Pauline out loud. But they didn't have to. Just past midnight, I saw movement outside my window. Jake was running fast, back toward Pauline's house, eyes wide, fur bristling. He darted inside. Seconds later, Pauline came to the door, face pale. She looked directly at my window, and then she left, got in her old car. Jake jumped in after her. They drove off into the dark. A minute later, the mob arrived. It was a flood of angry men, yelling, stomping, howling. Some I recognized, uncles, cousins of the baby's family. First rock, then another, then glass shattered, then flames. They burned her house down to the studs. The garden went up like kindling. The flames were strange, greenish, thick. They didn't flicker, they pulled. Like the fire was hungry. They stayed for hours, yelling at a woman who wasn't there. By morning, everything was gone. No sign of Pauline. No sign of Jake. But it didn't end there. Weeks passed, then months, and then people started hearing things. Whispers through the garden. Scratches at their doors. One neighbor, a guy who joined the mob, he said he saw Pauline in his hallway at 3 a.m. just watching him. Not moving, just standing barefoot in the dark. 2 days later, he hung himself in his garage. Another woman, the baby's aunt, was found convulsing in the woods behind her house. Eyes rolled back, tongue bitten clean through. She survived. Barely. When she woke up, she wouldn't speak. But she kept drawing the same image over and over. A black cat, sitting at a gate, guarding something. People say Pauline was a witch, or a healer, or something older. Me? I think she was just tired. Tired of trying to help a world that didn't want her. But every now and then, when the wind shifts just right, I still smell that burnt herbal scent. And I swear, I see Jake, sitting on my fence, watching and waiting. I moved into Unit 3A in February. Just me, a mattress on the floor, and enough ramen to survive a nuclear winter. The building wasn't great. Yellow walls, flickering hallway lights, and that smell that clings to old carpet like a memory no one wants to talk about. But rent was cheap, and I didn't ask questions. That changed when I noticed the unit across the hall. Unit 3B. The door was always shut. No decorations, no doormat, no deliveries. Just this heavy steel door with one of those old peepholes, the kind you have to lean into to use. I never saw anyone go in or out. First, I figured it was vacant, or storage, or something boring. But then, at night, I'd hear sounds. Nothing loud. Just enough to make you pause a show and ask yourself, did I really hear that? It started with light shuffling, like someone pacing. Then came the dragging. And then once, a knock. Not on my door. From inside 3B. One slow knock followed by a scratch. I told myself it was pipes. Or a rat. Something explainable. Until the morning I found the note. Slid under my door. Plain paper. No handwriting. Just a single word. Help. Inside, a photo of my old apartment hallway. And in every photo, the door to 3B is open just a little wider. They say the house was cursed. But no one ever did anything about it. Not the town, not the police, not even the church. They just avoided it. Like if you didn't look directly at it, it wasn't real. The house on Bell Hollow Road. Old, peeling, quiet, no lights, no mailbox, no cars. And yet, people said it was never empty. All that's ever found are photographs. Always from inside a house that shouldn't exist. Not all neighbors wave. Not all houses are homes. And sometimes, when someone disappears, it's not because they left. It's because something else came for them. Keep your doors locked. And if you ever hear scratching at your window at night, just remember, some neighbors never really leave. They just wait for the right moment to return.